there are a couple of ways in terms of where we can go with what we want to figure out next. I'm going to keep track of a lot of things down here just to make sure I know what's happening over each of the periods. So this is 8.9% APR throughout the remaining 12 years. So this is really today. This is where we are now. Over the remaining years, he's going to be able to make $120 bi-monthly, which is $240 a month. He is going to earn, we're assuming 9.5% APR. And we want to know what this is going to translate to in terms of getting this goal of $995,000. Well, we could certainly see what he has. We could kind of play this segment by segment and see what he has at the end of the 30-year period under these assumptions, but then we would witness a potential shortfall, and that still doesn't tell us what he had to do at year 18 in order to account for that shortfall. So let's do this first. And let's come over to our calculator and figure out what he has as of right now. So he's compounding interest monthly, so that's 18 times 12. That's a total of 216 months, or 216 compounding periods. The percentage rate is 8.9. He's not putting in anything initially that we know of except his regular continuous $120 payments. And compounded monthly, at the end of that cycle, he would have $63,646. So right here he would have plus $63,646 and some change, 32 cents. Okay, well we can look at that and say, oh man, he's, that's $63,000. That's nothing in comparison to what he wants in 12 years, and that was a 18-year period. So let's do this. Let's figure out what he would need to have at year 18 based on a $995,000 future value. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and change our future value to $995,000, and assuming that he made $240 over that final 12-year stretch. So I'm going to come up here and do 12 times 12 for 12 years, 12 times a year, 9.5%. What this will allow me to do is to indicate what he needed as a present value at this mark right here in order to achieve that goal. And that will tell us, based on what he already has, what his shortcoming is. Well, this tells us that at this mark, he would have had to have $299,074.97 already in the account, so that on top of his $240 payments, he'd be accruing on this lump sum of money. But look where he is. He's at $63,646. So in comparison to what he has, $299,074.97, this is what he needs. He has $63,646 and 32 cents for a difference of $299 minus $63,646 and 32 cents tells us that he has a shortcoming of way too much. $235,428.65 would be the needed deposit. So that's how much he has to put in from out of pocket. Now, yes, that's nothing in comparison to what he'll earn. 63 plus this being out of pocket. His total out of pocket will not be that much compared to his $995,000. Well, what is his out of pocket? I'll call it the OOP, out of pocket. If he went through this process, he would have made $120 payments for a total of 12 years, or 18 years, 12 times a year. Plus, he would have made the $299,074.97. Plus, he would have made $240 payments times 12 years times 12 months a year, for a total of $359,554.97. So out of pocket, relatively speaking, is still a small chunk of what he'll have based on all the accrued interest. But he's in a little bit of trouble based on his goal, so he better set some real